Hello. Hi guys. I have made this word for myself, and as you can see, I made this kinda very cool, very distinct thing. As you can see, explored areas look like this, unexplored look darker. And currently, this is the state of the world. I kinda broke up India, I kinda made a few more nations inspired by Addis Pro. Don't worry, Korea will fall. Definitely not because of two others will fall. But what we will also see is that I'm going to make a few other things. I will stay quiet for a while, but, well, yeah. I'm going to edit this border. I don't... I just came here just because I wanted to. Okay, I think I'm just gonna make these two go to war. So, we see Norway push into the north. And with the help of some Finnish forces, they are able to start pushing from the northern parts down south, where there's lesser things. Also, both Sweden, Finland, and, well, Norway don't really have any provinces up more north, because they don't like to consider that. Also, Sweden was in the process of making this their a whole few dozen, you know what. And we see that Sweden kind of holds on to this large province for a while, as the other provinces are so small they fall in a few hours. Well, not a few hours, but many armies are going to push into these areas, and they're going to push back the Swedes all the way over here, near the capital, and then we'll see that a lot of their forces will be pushed back a bit. Not pushed back, but you know what I mean. If you don't, then shame on you, because I'm not gonna explain. And that's basically because I'm just making this just for my own fun. And as you can see, most of, well, Sweden is gone. We'll give these areas over to Norway, as they kinda wanted them, and Sweden loses one major city. Now they are just southern Sweden or Estland, and they kinda just don't wanna give themselves up to anyone. Also, as you can see, this Baltic puppet was taken, as this kinda now completed that. Poland has broken into parts. Hungary was invaded by Poland, and this guy, before falling apart, Hungary erased this guy. And we also, these two are now in existence. I'm going to put some things. Current world, population is nearing a few tens of thousands. Well, not thousands, but millions. And we're going to see that a second city on the Dutch side will be built on the Anglian coast. We'll also see one major city be put right next to another, because why not? Then we see the English put a ton of major cities down, because this is where the major population centers are. For Ireland, it will be along the coasts over here, until they kind of make two over here and one in their center, because, well, this is their administrative capital. This is their real capital, but yeah, administrative, internal, yeah, kind of stuff. We also see these two becoming their own things, and then we see two more up in the north. Also one right here, because, well, why not? How about this? We put also this thing got eaten up by both of these guys, and these two had a war, lost some land, made a deal over here, and as you can see, the Mediterranean Empire is getting quite big, but they're going to collapse soon, because I'm saying so. This is in this alternate universe. Also, I have made a lot of African tribes, a few more tribal nations have popped up, and we also have seen that this guy got invaded by these guys, who also pressured this guy into giving them some land. and these guys just managed to slip this into their own region. But yeah, this was invaded by this guy. The Bangkok, uh, Burma, and Vietnam exist now, and as you can see, the borders over here look quite good, and that's because I made them, as well as over here. Now, I think I'm going to put one over here, one of these major cities. The only outside major city for Galicia will be this one, as they don't really have anything else. And for the Dutch team, there will be only another one, also another one outside, but well, they have this, so well, yeah. What do I have here? On this. How? Oh. Yeah, what? No more happy. Oh god damn. That's alright. Time for a few more capitals. How about I put this? Oh my god, I really wanna put that down. Capital número uno, capital número tres, capital número cuatro, cinco. I think that's right. And I'll put a few more down before like stopping, because I don't wanna overextend the stuff. Also, if you guys wanna know what happened to this area, it was kinda well divided, and then well, yeah, Hungary gets kinda some land over here as well, so a lot of new nations. Finally, you get your capital set, and I haven't put any capitals down for those guys. How about we do a war? A civil war. These guys are having instability problems, and I think I'm going to make some very close major cities break away. We're going to see the first two to break away will be, well, not the first two, but the first few forces of the Libyans will be that are going to secede from the Libyan government's control is going to be these guys. And as you can see, they're quite vast. They have 3 of the many major cities, and we're going to see them make their first move, which is going to be to invade into these areas. Well, actually, that's these guys' job, but as you can see, these guys are making their way into more of the bigger provinces, and due to this being a large province over here, you kind of see not much happening, but eventually manage to push into the more outskirt lands. The outskirt lands are not yet fully inhabited, they're kind of controlled under a strict strict code of rule. So yeah, nobody's allowed in or out. So well, except for the guards and stuff. And then we see these areas being liberated, and then these forces being pushed out of this major city. The revolutionaries will push into these two major cities, taking them, and from here they decide that they really want to take out the government's supply routes, so they're going to take out this major city, and then push on to the next major city by taking on these two provinces. Due to this last one being so close to the capital, they are not able to fully take it, but they are eventually going to manage to take it, and they're going to lay siege to the capital. As you can see, the rest of the country kind of fell over, so if we take off the provinces, this is what it looks like. We see that the rebels will take over this, and a new government will come into power. And we have another blue government. Yes. Great borders I have made. Now that just looks kind of weird. We see the African tribes start to make their moves. They're going to start doing this stuff. And they're going to expand. Two tribes are going to cut off another smaller tribe. Just because they want to. And they don't want to let them get too strong, so yeah. And then we see this guy desperately taking these lands, but it's again to no avail because these two kind of also do the same that was done to these guys, so yeah. So this guy is now surrounded, just like what happened to this guy. Weird borders, but we'll get to that. We finally see that our good old friends in Samaritans. Oh my god! I just forgot they also had a rebellion. Damn. Wait, what's happening over here? Yes. 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 Ocean. We'll also see that this guy's kind of taken, and after the capital falls, we see two more major cities kind of flop over to the new government that kind of imposes themselves. Two major cities kind of reject the rule, but they're kind of cut off from any defensive forces. They managed to build their own militias, but that's kind of over time. And eventually, it's just agreed that these major cities are on their own. As you can see, the rebels control all of this area, this major city's walls, and as this one is kind of surrounded, it's kind of made sure that this nation will have been quite good, as this lasted quite a few years. And as soon as it was encircled and food supplies started to crumble, we saw that the forces of the rebels kind of sandwiched them between two different attacks, and this caused the entire nation over here to kind of fall over. I think I'm going to make these two join together because, well, yeah, one is not that stable anymore, and the other is pretty much as stable as stable can be. And Gibraltar won't be liking that this has happened, so they're going to demand that they become independent again, and this time they're going to demand that this area gets given over, which these guys deny, but then they get invaded and they're like, okay, we will do it, and yeah, that land is given over. At this point, the neighbors over here see how weak they are and chose to take the pouncing act because they kinda wanted to do some pounce action. Pounce on the one who is weaker than you. We see this brown nation immediately gunning it for the capital, while also taking a lot of land through a few armies that they have. We see that this guy kind of pushes into these areas and kind of fights over these lands. We also see that they managed to reach the sea. Shit. Alright. Yeah, we're going to see that these guys are going to do whatever they want, and eventually they're going to take the capital. And what's left of this nation is kinda forced into making their own nation. So yeah, these guys declared independence. Both nations kind of just take what they wanted, but then they recognize, oh, this part of the border is bad. This guy wants to fix it by taking these lands, and this guy just wants these lands in return. And both agree because they see that these lands are less valuable, and then they're like, okay, this is also again bad. And then this guy over here threatens these guys with an invasion. If these guys don't get this land, and it's allowed. So yeah, less capitals and nice nation. We're going to see that another island is discovered over here after somebody gets kind of lost. They're going to use it as a staging ground for more exploration. And people are going to make it over here, and some people are going to be like, okay, there's just ocean around here. We're going to explore and kind of be around here for a while, and then they find the island, Bermuda, and they're like, okay, this is okay. How about this? We kind of stay here and use it as a naval base. And this kind of goes very well with the ruling government. Ruling king, who is part of the Galicians and stuff. And then we see that this guy over here is kind of like, okay, we want to do the same thing but on a lesser scale, so they're going to send less people over here. And they're going to do some stuff. They're going to discover the first Caribbean islands. Why didn't I get rid of this thing now? Like, why? Why? It's so easy to get rid of. Borders are borders. But yeah, they reach Haiti and they're like, okay, there's land here. Are they natives? There aren't. And then they find out that, oh, we're just a bit north south of these guys. How about we just go up here? And that's only two of the ships that were with the 120 ships, and only one makes it over here towards Bermuda. And Bermuda is like, okay, what happened? Everyone kind of went over here and explored the rest of this. And over here in Bermuda, they say that one ship kinda got lost in a weird spot. They don't know where. So yeah, life is good. But we see that expedition lands people on Haiti, and whatever this was, and they're going to kinda explore more of the island's surroundings. They're also going to find these areas, and off in the distance somebody sees Puerto Rico, and people are like, okay, Wheeled Islands, nothing much. It's around this time that somebody kinda takes interest in these lands and like is like, okay, what can we gain from these lands if we colonize them? And the first nation to do the triad act of colonization will be Galicia, but they kind of fail. And then it's good old friend Morocco, and they managed to set up a very, 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 very small colony that eventually branches out for a few years and manages to take more of the coast. That's until our good old friends somebody decides to do something, and that is just make their own little thing over here. And the Galicians are going to be quite surprised with the weather in these areas. They've never seen the weather be quite bad, and they're going to just discover the lands around here. They're going to also discover this new island, and they're going to discover the rest of Haiti, and they're gonna meet the Cuban islands, but they don't really care about the Cuban island. They think it's like very small. But again, they thought that when it was time for this guy to get found out about. They find out about the Bahamas, but they don't really do anything about them, except kind of find them. We also see our good old friends, the Dutch, make their little colony because they kind of wanted a little colony, and they kind of made it a bit bigger. So these two felt threatened, so they kind of took the rest of the Haitian thing, and then they all made a secret agreement that everyone could split the island as long as it was evenly split. And as you can see, their view on evenly was kind of weird. But hey, Haiti is now a thing, and we see that Morocco will take this, but Galicia will take this, which Galicia will remember because, well, the Morocco's kinda tried to make a deal, which was turned down, and then they kinda make this deal, which is okay for these guys because they can like regulate flow of goods through this area. So yeah, life is good. We see that these three have made their first moves, and we see that this pact is kind of going to do something, but good old friend Ireland is curious about what's over north. So they're going to go north, like this. They're gonna have multiple attempts to go up here, and they're finally gonna discover something, and that is new lands. And they're not gonna tell anybody because they're kind of scared about what happens if they told anybody. They only tell the English, who are like, okay, there's land up here. So there's like no benefit from making colonies at this point, except if I wanted to grow my population, which I don't. and eventually that will sting the English in their backs, because well, the Irish are kind of now thinking, hey, if we explore all of this, we can get more land, and well, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this here.